Hey everybody on YouTube, I'm Owen H. Welcome to another episode of What's It Worth. Spring is here, finally. And so is my hunger for werewolf stories. And I'm going to touch up on the one video game that finally touches up on that particular monster, the Quarry. When the sun falls and the moon rises in the woodlands of Northkill, you're put in the shoes of 9 teenage counselors of Hackett's Quarry summer camp who become prey to blood-drenched locals and nocturnal creatures hunting at night. But what's more terrifying are the unimaginable choices you must make in order to survive till morning. This is going to be a two-parter video because I'm going to be covering a lot of information about this game. Now, you're probably wondering, why would you think of werewolves in the springtime? Well, that was because back when I was in my preteens, I actually thought of a werewolf short story I wanted to write. I started penning one down, then I stopped for a while, and I kept thinking about this story over and over again over time. And that's until in my 20s, I actually did write it on my old laptop, and I completed it. And then when I was putting it through rewrites, my laptop crashed. Oh. Yeah. If you're a writer, you know exactly how that feels when that happens. The good news is I was able to recover a piece of the original draft of my short story, in which I'm putting it through rewrites now. So yes, I will post up a video of what it's called, where you can find it. Now moving on to the Quarry. I know this game's been around for a few years, but you know what? I just ordered it last summer, and I'll tell you, wow, this game is awesome. When I first saw the cover of this, I thought this was about Bigfoot because of that silhouette in the background. I'm like, oh, Bigfoot game. But it turns out it's werewolves, and I went, ooh, even better. It's like you basically are the director, and you get to pick and choose what the characters do, what the characters say, and how their story plays out. And I actually enjoyed it. I really did. I had a blast with this game. Granted, it's not the scariest werewolf game I've played, but it's definitely by far the most entertaining. And this game's biggest selling point are the characters. I mean, this is exactly what is wrong with Hollywood's movies. Yeah, they get these actors, but they're so boring, so bland. Whereas in this game, they were colorful, they were amusing, they were charismatic, they stood out in their own way, and they're so interesting to watch. And I look at this game, it's kind of like Friday the 13th and Deliverance with werewolves. Plus, it's got a pinch of a ghost story to it, so it's kind of interesting. I'm not fully caught up with the whole story because this game is multi-scenarioed. So it's each path you take unfolds the story in so many different directions. You're like, whoa. With the characters in this game, they're basically like the cliches you would see in your typical teen horror movie, in which I'm going to go over pretty much all of them and show what characters I really like and what characters I seriously hate in this game. So let's begin. So in the game, there's actually 2 final girls. Usually in horror movies, there's 1, but in the case of this game, there's 2 of them. Caitlin and Laura. In the case of the character Caitlin, never underestimate her cute, petite stature, as she doesn't take shit from anybody. She's one of those strong leads that she's very smart, she knows how to handle herself with guns, and her snap personality is awesome. She's really good at comebacks, and she's funny when it comes to breaking somebody's balls.
Blam, we thought this was over? Whoa. Hot pop, peanut butter pops.
And she actually proves herself to be the most unbreakable character in the entire game. I mean, she does have some down personalities where she could be snarky and bossy. And of course, the second final girl that's my absolute #1 favorite is Laura Kearney, played by Siobhan Williams, who I never even heard of, and the only time I've actually noticed her was when I played this game. And I'll tell you, this girl was a total surprise. I mean, at first in the game, I didn't really pay much attention, but then as her story progressed, then it was like I got to see what kind of a character she was. So Laura Kearney is with her boyfriend Max, and they're going to Hackett's Quarry to work as counselors. They were on their way to the camp. They didn't have any money, and they were going to chill out at Hackett's Quarry until, their job starts up. So they're there a day early, and it's just been this constant shit show for them. And it was like, as her character progressed, I actually liked her a lot more. If I had to choose between Caitlin or Laura Kearney, I'm going to lean more towards Laura, because the one thing that makes Laura the most attractive character in my book is she cares. She's compassionate, she's understanding.
I was embarrassed.
Wait, your grades were good and you wrote a great essay?
Yeah, apparently not good enough.
I'm sorry, Max.
I shouldn't have kept it from you.
You know you can talk to me about anything, right?
Yeah.
This is the kind of girl that I would want in my life. I mean it. I mean, she's like the perfect example of how a human being should be versus how people are nowadays. I mean, Laura, she's amusing in her own way.
Honey, you really want to listen to the advice of some creep-ass cop who told us in the middle of the creep-ass woods to go to some creep-ass hotel?
No, that sounds terrible.
She cracks some good one-liners.
I wasn't aware we needed your permission, Detective Dick Whippet.
And the coolest thing is, not only Siobhan Williams plays Laura, but she also has a song of hers put into this game called Everything. At first, I thought this was her song.
The sun is setting and you're right here by my side.
But it turns out her actual song plays in an ending you have to unlock, which is where her and Max are reunited at the end. Which, it drove me nuts as to how to unlock this ending. And I went, you know what, the hell with it. So I actually looked up her songs, and I'll tell you, wow. And this is coming from a guy that hates today's pop music. Siobhan Williams is completely different. She is like the total opposite. And I've heard a few of her songs that I actually really like them. This girl has so much talent. And the fact she can act, she can sing. On a personal note, she is the comforting reminder that I'm not the only multi-talented person on earth. And here is the proof. Siobhan, if you're watching this video, just keep doing what you're doing because you are amazing. Thank God there's still multi-talented people like you on earth. Now with Laura's boyfriend, Max, he's got kind of a sad story. And you know what? I sympathize with this character because I know what it's like really trying to work hard for something and you get screwed over so bad. And that's exactly what this character has gone through.
I didn't get in.
What?
I got rejected from the wait list.
Wait, your grades were good and you wrote a great essay?
Yeah, apparently not good enough.
Bunch of assholes. And it's such a shame because he wanted to go to the same school as Laura so they could still be together. And I think that's pretty much what he's afraid of, is he's probably afraid of her dumping him because they're not going to school together. And then when Max ends up becoming infected after being attacked by the werewolf in the cellar, he first gets really confused as to like what's going on and what he's going through. He's trying to make sense of it all. And that's until he sees a tablet video of him turning into a werewolf with Laura handcuffed to a radiator pipe, and he clawed out her one eye because he struck out someone that he loved and he had no control over it. But Laura does remind him that that wasn't him, that wasn't his fault, and he blames himself anyway. Which he's another one I respect. And of course, Max, he's funny in his own way, especially when he's giving Travis shit. He cracks these like smart ass remarks. He's always jabbing at his girlfriend with the ma'am thing.
Ma'am?
Oh my god! If he called me ma'am one more time, I was gonna shove that badge up his dick. Seriously, do I look like a ma'am to you?
So funny how they have him wearing girls' clothes because
You gotta be kidding me.
he's stuck wearing girls' clothes, which is like funny as hell. And of course, I made the stupid mistake of making him swim from the island back to the mainland, and he gets killed by a werewolf. I'm like, son of a bitch! And of course, there is Ryan, played by Justice Smith, which we all know him from the last 2 Jurassic World films. Sorry. With Ryan in this game, he's one of those characters where he's the quiet, mysterious, brooding loner type. And you get some hints of his past where he's pretty much going through a lot. He's got pressures in his life, like, you know, he's worrying about going to school while his baby sister's left with his grandparents, and he's just been going through a lot in his life. In the game, you get the impression like he doesn't know what kind of a person he wants to be. He's always on his iPod listening to a podcast called Bizarre Yet Bonafide, which you hear that in the ending credits of the game.
Boner, bye.
Your wit knows no bounds.
Ryan, it's like, you know, it's like he's very mysterious and you're trying to figure him out. And I think that's the whole point, is you're trying to figure him out when actually the whole time he's trying to figure himself out. Of course, we can't forget the smartass character, Dylan, played by Miles Robbins, who we all know from the 2018 Halloween. He is funny. He cracks jokes pretty much throughout the entire game. He has these like little dumb moments that's just enough to make you laugh, and he'll take something you'll say that might be something serious and he twists it around and makes a joke out of it. And it's like, I always had a blast when he's on the screen. Even though he loses his hand somewhere in the game, he's still cracking jokes, and it's funny. He does show that he is brave, he is smarter than he lets on, and they do hint in the game that he does have an affection for Ryan.
Give me your number, I want to try it out.
Why?
So that I can ask you out on a date.
Smooth.
And of course, he actually does save the characters on occasion. And of course, there's the jock that every horror film needs, which that's Jacob. This character, it's like he's built like a real man, but it turns out he's very immature, he's kind of childish, he's overly sensitive, and he's deeply in love with the bitch character I'm about to get to talking about in a minute. And he's honestly playing this game and then playing the alternate scenarios in movie mode. I'm sitting here going like, there is no point to this character being alive in this game. I don't even know why I would bother keeping him alive unless it's a scenario where he manages to capture the werewolf and it turns into human form. But above all, this character was so useless. Absolutely useless. Wait, what do you mean I'm out of time? No!